Home Buying 101. Just want to take a second and briefly touch on some of the basics as far as what you need in order to purchase a home. So I know some of you might be thinking about purchasing, whether it's soon or sometime in the future, but you don't even know where to start. You don't know what's involved or anything. So I'm going to just kind of clear that up, give you some of the basics. That way you can have a little bit of knowledge and it can help kind of steer you in the right direction. So there's three major components that you need. You need credit, you need income, and you need some cash to close the deal. And I'll briefly touch on all three of those. All right, as far as credit is concerned, it depends on what type of loan you're going with. There are tons of types out there, but the three most common types are FHA, VA, or conventional. Now with an FHA loan, typically, hi there, my daughter's waking up. Typically you can go as low as 580 as far as a credit score. It's not going to be the cheapest loan in the world, but you can get it done. VA and conventional typically are around 620. Once again, there's some variances there, some different programs you can use, but those are just kind of the basics. Either 580 with an FHA, or if you're going to go VA or conventional, you need to be about 620. Okay, so here comes the big question. Everybody wants to know, how much cash do I need to close this deal if I'm going to buy a house? And that really depends. It depends on what type of loan you're going to use. So if you go FHA, you can come in with as little as 3.5% down. If you go conventional, there are some 3% conventionals, but typically you're looking at 10% conventional or 20% conventional. So that really depends on you, what your situation is, and you know what loan program works best for you. So the down payment depends on what type of loan you're going to do. Now, be aware that when you're calculating your down payment costs, that's not the only cost that you're going to incur. You're also going to have to pay closing costs. Okay, now closing costs can vary. There's a lot of things included. They include escrow fees, loan fees, title fees. You're even going to pay part of your insurance and your taxes through that. So they can vary, but you're looking roughly 2 to 3% of the purchase price. So make sure to include that in there. Now there are some ways to get those paid for you, either by the lender, sometimes by the seller. It's hard in today's market, but it can happen. So just remember, there is a little bit of extra cash that you're gonna have to come up with. Now, there are some sneaky things in there. Be aware there are a few typically out-of-pocket expenses. One is gonna be your home inspection. Another one typically is gonna be a termite inspection, as well as your appraisal. And so roughly, you can be anywhere from $800 to $1,200 kind of just as out-of-pocket expenses. So just something else to be aware of. So, okay, so we've talked about income, we've talked about credit, and we've talked about the cash to close the deal. Like I said, these are just very rough kind of numbers, rough ideas to work with. There's always exceptions to all of these rules, but just some real foundational basics to kind of get you guys in the game. So if you have any questions or concerns about your scenario specifically, feel free to reach out to me. And also, I'm not a mortgage broker. I am not a lender. All these numbers are just based on my experience as a realtor for the last 16 years. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Let me know if you have any questions or anything I can do to help. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.